Na pom to say.
Oh, nyame adom ahɔne wɔ hɔ paa. Agye
Ah,
di sɛ wo ne wɔtiefoɔ so obiara ho yɛ.
ye ho ye pa yen saka osi ana ye ni age. Na
Ɛdɛ.
ye de asɛm kakra wa ha ne sɛ enra ana obi de sekan ɛwɔ ɛyɛ Ghana ni maame bi a ɛfrɛ no obi nim. Na wawo nkorafo a wahwere ne nkwan yayaaya. Enti Ghana fo ɛwɔ Manchester de omu di awerɛhoɔ ne Ghana fo ɛwɔ UK. Stabbing no. And
Yeah,
very very sad.
yeah, I think that's very sad. And even I think about a couple of months ago, a Ghanaian young guy was also stabbed by a fellow student. And I think there's a local US a gun about epidemic, a critical crisis, UK, they know, yeah, knife. I think it's the record knife in instances in the case here, because something I think the security there's will pay much attention to because the alarming rate at which a claiming life, and my UK GD born so far as this knife is concerned, because share statistics, here last year. Now, since 2020 up to now, we had a number of individuals are stabbing your mom number no and I think it's not encouraging because we live in a civilized environment. You don't expect say will be any confrontation and I will be a seminar won't say a knife and a settle those things. But you see, I never way about that on the drug usage. And Woodim said the rate at which I drug use Agia Europe now, a Kahubi.
Yeah.
And I'm asking winning a cost because ordinary, it will be quite unusual. So would not be many differences now. All of a sudden, there was what is kind of their honor. Some very often these guys are under the influence of something, and I think there is something that government need to pay critical attention to because the rate at which among for very energetic young people are. Yeah, Queen, so young for na affect you more. Young folks things like
Akwa sɛ wohwɛ mu koraa no a bebree no nso so a ACCCC akwa sɛ single parenthood no so is becoming a factor, a situation where the man is not at home, and also
yes.
contributed towards this a year stabbing, and it's very very sad. And times you see
Yeah.
with a year the Asians are one UK, but the black community no, a tuntumfo no, tie ACC pa.
Yeah, Dr. Rahu said one thing about divorce cases in Europe, especially with the blacks, they are very, very common because Obia could do honor sometimes, way family pulling, way family pulling. So Obia and Hunyan Sani. So when two people, Monya Imagine say, Obia and I just saw Copisika Bafia, there is nowhere a bit me marriage and bit me a survival. And the rate at which a marriage in break, coming under single parents, say you can't sit home and say, oh, you're taking care of your kids. And how many of these people, based of a Juma Moye, and obey me a high nanny, and also bet me a four, we say, on China Bamano. You can't do that. So very often, a man from pay attention to their kids. It's about work because you need to work to survive. So by the time I be realizing, now one casano, will raise a monster in your home. And some of these children go wayward. And it's very, very, very important. Say, oh yeah, Juma Pisikana, you need to realize say another ajapadia or and a yawbano. And you need to do everything to ensure so you don't lose control. Well, you see, European system is such that we have no life now. Obidi 18 years old can decide not to even see his mother or the father ever again. But in our situation, it's a bit different. So always and always, there, but I think that you need to shift much of your focus on your kids. So you build that relationship, know what you control more, and some positive impact be. That is why very often I encourage people to say, "Oh, about UK." Sometimes just try and bring them home, just to have a different cultural taste, certain orientation, and as because if you will mess them in the European system now forever, you lose the child completely. Because the orientation, mentality, everything will begin to look like a brofono pepe, and that sense of family, needs have family now, you lose it. And at the end of the day, and when it get to that point, you should know, say, no. And I think that these are some of the key things that as a man for pay attention to system now, and a man for saying, yeah, but there are some aspect of it you need to integrate into the life of these people, as at least that sense of we never and yes, I know lose obana. there is nothing that you can do about it.
Unim say eye Ghana menkai papa ya mebobo ne ban yaw. Ye sports journalist ana owo Ghana Kweku Ofosu Asare. Na those days o host a sports beat ewo GTV. 2012 ne ba yeku no Brixton ya. Baby aye office we. Yeah, this kind of one, yeah. And that a young, promising guy, I know about. I mean, footballers, we bring no cry because I know a mama and Adam for a year real Ferdinand Munina, young Ghanaian boy. Obi this kind of one, you could a year, Kweku Ora, a year Kweku, a year Ofosu Asari, Neba, a chroma say. And it's very, very disheartening. And most of it, most of these kids, you say, Anya Ghana in Nigeria ni Anya Ghana alata, and I'm asking myself, upbringing in a no society no and na idea pan contributed to a year because statistics the 100 say as at a year 2024 a year March now 50,510 people have been stabbed.
Yes, very dangerous. Very dangerous. And I think that the entire time, you don't have to do that bringing. Because you can, I'm for one, I'm for second, I'm among themselves, I'm for second. But you see, the rate at which I are common within the black communities, you know, actually, say, you see, parental hold, you know, I had the amount for loose grapes. But my culture said, yeah, majority of our people traveling out there no go there in the name of seeking greener pasture.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is about work. So few people pay even attention to marriage.
Yeah.
Family. Obi wa ofili so do obi da obi na da after all. Obi omomuti akra wa oba kwana mmienu no kra there. It's about work. But you see, what to kwanya wo kwatena ba bia 20 years no. You can't just go there say be kopesika. Your life no. So you must live that life in full. Because and yes, I made UK 40 years now back Ghana, you get that 40 years back. No, you may come back and even have just about 5 years and you die. So at the time I will year Jumano, you must have in mind say life na so it's not just about me pentama pesika kusi down when you can't even live in that particular house. Me Japade ofie. And you stress yourself, but at the time of realizing now family, I had the most important thing to you. I have a man, and our warrior, no, sir, a humanistica opening to know what good. I think that is the mistake that we do. You can't butcher Kobobra, young Conco Pesica. And Isikana can be there, but when the orientation make Pesica, you forget about everything. Now, by the time of realizing, Woma. Control over them because my characters are we see they are learning in a very radical manner. Whenever you are learning things, Dr. Rense, when you be or coach you can learn and learn it best. And see what and then fast some of this cultural clash. Because I've listened to a couple of instances on BBC. Nipa na mo mo se kan no. We tie some of the some agina so ayewo nipa na se kan we be say na we so ya dey say e was se kan. But because of such cultural clash and misunderstanding, that kind of Obi is looking down upon that person, especially like maybe a free bar, people see you inferior, that kind of way, you know, come my emotions kosro. Until we need the panel kasa by the time I realize it. But if parents are able to get closer to their kids on daily basis or by every day or carbon whatever experience or benyan as for what an tenancy. Just understand what is going through on the mind of the child because as a parent you have control to be able to insert with me first of all now see just any money you know when may double shift may triple shift and we all have it you the whole day in the background in his formative years no or in the name of make money one year pepesika because some and I'm sure so what way you know very well some of the stories. Man for mama akofas and kesiaba. I could na on papa no ma minimjina, baby any so kokojina. So I think Sikana ye penny property in the most important thing or family. And we need to make sure say you better give you more time and attention because would you mark a certain environment, cultural, everything is different. You need to guide them. Me as city in properly. Yeah, can you a lot of Ghanaian family, African families or more, they've been able to help their kids. I'm a multi adjust into the system. There are others and so on because they didn't have this. And then some are out there doing drugs, some are doing a whole lot of unholy stuff, a bit going to robbing, some doing scamming, and a whole lot of Nema air coso things that Nina has to do with this lack of parental guidance. And then I say for no I'm for attention to their kids. I'm not blaming Obi Awalusune, but say because I am responsible. No, that is not the point I'm making. Because at this point, to be losing a bar, you can understand the pain and the kind of nema and nipano come. So this is not a platform I can say obi anya na de and a command kobai, but I can say in a general sense, you know, going forward, we are looking at some of the things a bit here, 7 years animal in CBM, and I think parents need to focus on their kids. The same way they focus on money. Because we took UK could do 40 years, 50 years. You will not come back to Ghana and have that 50 years again. Say, I think I may believe in my life. No, life on no one I work on. So find a way of blending it with your life and your family. So be able to achieve the maximum satisfaction that you want. Because that doesn't make sense. So obi single room, nipa 2 and or more share. Maybe for about 10 years, Dr. Ren. Now we pay us sick, now we see our sign AC Kumase, we see business in crime. Bad 20 years, not on my dad 9 mudo. Now all share single room would be. Life now all share would be or life for no. And we are not living the best of it. So I know the day, no. Oh, back or crown our babatina, I know and answer then. And life, yeah, could be a name W. And you may not even see that particular thing. It's life now, walk all up and down, may build them, may say, I think your mentality, then as a forno, we need to shift it a bit. You took one copesica, a cobobra, but what corner, no, sir, you are there, oh, Bobra, said the Ghana, and live that life in full, incorporate your family, make sure you pay proper attention. Say life now we live in Ghana, and the same thing, because every single day you lose, you will never get it back.
Wow. Abusiani eye yenua eye Ivan Che Innocent ani no etwetwe nkomo no maminchia eye Uncle Mark ana eye ahwene pankasa ehwe ewo eye Holland obibini King George minua na apom te sen na yebekọ yensem no so say message a will be ede abmane me pese making kan kakra ewa ha say I'll say good afternoon, Dr. Ren, and good afternoon to Ghana's future president, Ivan. I just tune in and I'm enjoying the conversation, the point Ivan is making. My name is Franklin Osei Yeboah. I came into this country in 1995.
Wow.
What Ivan is saying is very, very true. Look, I fell in love with a woman who thought it was because of Enkrata. I had a first child. It was difficult for me to see my own child. All because society and people around her has told her, this guy is so handsome, and why would he fall in love with a woman who is not that beautiful and not educated? But I know that the woman I fell in love was a hard-working woman. But to cut the long story short, I had to go without having even a chance to see my own child. Now, can you imagine my child 10 years and I went to a supermarket buying something. My child was there. I didn't even know this was my child. But I can look at the resemblance that, this child looks like me. And I asked, what is your name? Lo and behold, the child mentioned the name, and I was like, are you a Ghanaian? He said, yes. What's your mom's name? The child mentioned. I'm using a child because I don't want to specifically go into whether he or she. Then I asked the mother's name, and the child mentioned. It was my my own child, with me in a supermarket, and I didn't even know. You see, we came here to look for money, but we should spend time with our family. I've made right with my child now. You know, he's obviously a matured young guy, and I've done everything best for my child now, who is very happy. But I realized that when I have the access and direct contact with my child, the lot of things that my child had gone through was more than when I was even growing up in Ghana. Smoking, into other forms of vices already.
Yeah.
Yes, men are not perfect, but we ask that the women should also understand us. This is very lengthy, but I hope you read it out. Thank you, Rainbow Radio. Thank you, Dr. Ren. And I'm listening on DAB+. Or they buy it.
Yes. And Dr. Ren, some of these things are very real. Because you see, I know a couple of guys what to call UK in attempt to start up family. Oba Ghana, oba for bad and hoping say, yeah, Babetana Babra. But Nipana or bad and the mentality, Nabusian Funina or your boga. Or Munina Nidano. So instead of that, all banner Bema Betana Babra, helping say, a be a year, a be a swamp. It is the focus on the family, override everything. Eti Oba. Once a Nipana Baby do a seven and crata, what do we ye? So you see that kind of back and forth. And you see, drew that pointer. We are doing Jessica, Miss Jessica. So I know that they know, hand and submitted to wine. So that sense of that family, any Obia as on the pride and all the number because after all, me one children also one child. That is the Sunday man the coffee way now, but at that pointer, ebe drew honor. Now, I war back one and this our stories you are betting, Anya Shay, or Baba Coom, or Baba Coom. And the Obama Batina Bakunchain. Some basic activities and as for your coba because single parent, you need to make every month be able to £800 for or dying. You need to pay for other expenses. One question so you have to do everything to ensure say look up Juma. So Akrano, obey then I take care of. And I do my 1 year and enough so it's my high 90. So take care of or banamount. Eti Akrani do baby any say winning off. And I said, when you that kind of way, you are forced to or be quite even in the back with them fearful from what they do there, you don't even know. Or be quite ultimately in the back with will be in your absence, they are go through, you don't know. But because a humanaji yagana is about money, make can you imagine plot, by the way, oba, a man for she buy, what's the dime saying, what the plot to say, when you need it, what they also need your who be that. So there is this kind of competition at whom here, a man for far to a Mohosontino, the core responsibility and a back. I make us be a man UK. Unfortunately, my parents and to me and family and go school, and to me call manual jobs and a mayor. I do my run one shop to the other and as a forum. My major focus should be set up around my banner. Me man my manual job because my new opportunity, my banner new opportunity, me be. Enti the may be a met me guide me banama or not to me a school. Now I buy a juma a decent job. Well, when you are in the UK and you're working a very decent job, you don't need to be running double shift in that kind of way. But when I'll buy and will be enough for you. The focus in say Obano, but when you corner shepherd, making sure say wait me a college. I been a juma. Now say Sunday manu omomunya akodrone ahwadentimi hwe omo look at some of the Ghanaian young guys in UK. Omo kwatena ha omo ball football and as for me. And we and the parent you can decide not to work again because some of them have gotten to a point and obetimi wow. And I think that is the key point that MSC parents need to recognize the fact is that it is not about money. Life no lose why you won't get it back. Just get that. You lose life no how you will never get it back. So set a make sure so you include the family and you run along. Now obey the together and I think that you can do whatever that you want to do. But so we jive krana, they will go wayward. I can't say this nature argument in the nature is insignificant. It's just about 10%. Everything about is nature. The kind of orientation near my cultural way best expose you to environment and so forth, and they determine who you really become on this earth. nature, it was a slight impact on our life, but nature. And the Uba criminal, Uba comfort, Uba say, there are genes within which scientists will always argue that they influence. But I'm telling you, it is all about nature. It is a wouldn't say a nature there. You need to make sure that you focus on your kids, blend it with your work, make sure that they become a paramount priority. Because a nipa does a new one seven yeka. Which me yellow D wow. But unfortunately, some of our guys end up minimum be on the makers and the back prisons this year in the UK. Or be US in the bio prison. And when it's not or admitting or can't much or catch us or buy no your mistakes. Because not dreaming your work. Because Okodrub which and in our option a family for chas here. No mamma cross all them quite then your mias and about and on a man entire day saying in a bugger mamma, so pressure no shall see by. So one hour, they don't even care whether said near me who go through. People go through a lot of stuff. They don't say go be a kind of story. The kind of psychological trauma, depression, and as a for man for go through and as and easy. And especially
Jinahoe, na men kind say what message I would yaba. Was say Dr. Ren listening to you guys. You are being too harsh on some of us women. I'm a single parent. My children's dad is very, very irresponsible man. All he thinks about is alcohol and but no kind of them say we ain't no. I say alcohol ne a real na papa ne pe. The alcohol. Anyway, sorry, yes I made this, but I mean I say and the point I will make is if you allowed somebody like my ex who is an alcoholic and all that he thinks is about sex, how is he going to be a good role model to my children? And so the best thing is to remain as a single mother and try my best. And that is where the problems also lie. Mamimfa if you say, Dr. Ren, it is true. Myself, my husband, we all work together. We have 4 children. We all work. We work. I do morning shift. My husband does night shift. So the time my husband will be coming, then I will be going. So that is the problem here. And like Ivan was saying, the pressures back home is too much. So if our dear people are listening, if Ghanaian people are listening on Rainbow Radio now, we, the ones that are also abroad, we also have issues and problems. We have become like a cash cow. Every day sending. Nobody will even call you and ask you, how are you? It is saying, nobody in Ghana will say, let me even buy something and send it to my auntie or my brother. Every time send. Why?
Yeah, Dr. Ren, I think the contest in the man or Baba, we are not blaming women. As some way, first both sides. Gender no BI is at fault.
Yeah.
And I say that is the name leading to some of these things. And maybe it is about time we need to open up to people. You see, when you create that aura, say, oh, media name, you see, there is this misconception. A man for perception, we said the very moment the depend be to now, Madame Finesse maybe to call US. And all of a sudden, Obi all call US as 6 months crying I say family Obia. You see, because there is this mentality say if you BC America $100, what that's around a panel cut it. Now they good them until a man for fra now will send it. Send no can Obian ho cover for business or what to say. What did you announce? Because people go through a lot, especially changing from one environment to the other. Obi how could do very often people come to UK without even knowing anybody there. Or about train station will be now we are Ghana now because of skin we not what the so you can imagine a lot of stuff I want to go through. But I think the problem here both sides. Let us be honest with the people and open up. So these are the realities here. So what church and so many parties here, among sometimes some of the pressure no about form. But you say, oh, yesika. But my catch man for say the reasons a man for the 2 coin must not always be about money. I'm for 2 coin some for adventure sake, or because to learn, or because to do a whole lot of stuff. That's why I'm saying, almost 2 coin. Don't go there with a single mentality. Say me kopesika. I've listened to a couple of interviews in that forum. It's about money because Abiba culture say UK, my Juma may the salary I imagine a month, a such in Ghana MP, the salary. Now I can't try to honor. He forget to say, or you move about £800 edit your rent. Or the training as for when you are paying these monies, you don't pay them in cities. So you can't compare yourself to be or say or MP now or kind of seminar. You go on say can 20,000 or or 1,000 krana or to workers in Aka. But you have to cough up a whooping £800 to pay your friends that will rent and as for them. So when people come out to create this impression, me now physical krana such a way now I can't try to who you with you guys. You just say, Madam,
me baba Jimmy £30.
Exactly. Madam for be also called baby or California, unity, I do 150 or say $100 is a day. I don't know on one unity. I gonna have find a vocal unity or so. So such comparison, no, they are very cheap and easy comparison to be throwing around. Let us be real. Life na airborne, you took a year, every single day be your best friend. That is your life. I'm saying that you will never get it back. So make sure say you focus on it. It's about you, yourself, your family, and how you live with the best out of the day now when you know. Because that day you may never get it back again. Thinking say, oh me project will feel me. Who says that will be who says that you have a chance to come back and live it? Let us cherish the moment, live it, and then make family. And I think that is the most important thing.
Abusua guso a wutie Rainbow Radio mamenka wo se menya betena asese ya na wo mo hyema se a meja mede eye adwuma kasi ebrew eye aluguin tuguin ahaban ti wo mo se menka nje wo se benefit bebre no a ewo aluguin tuguin ahaban nim ebi antioxidant properties, anti-inflammatory effects, blood sugar regulation, digestive health, immune system support. Medi adanse no ana menom and anwe over the weekend he heart attack bianca afa wunua enye easy bedi ho adanse alu going to green ahaban tea no me num bi pa kama but money ana from mo e was 077 962 236 426 077 962 236 426 and from was 0755 2527 877 0755 2527 ubetimi so afre mo Ghana number we so e wo +233 55 55 56 787 +233 55 55 56 787 from sisi anaje wo aluguin to green ahaban tea ni bi nanom sama idea so wonim say ajayi yetuemu a live in London the maestro kodwantwi na wone Kofi Kinata womo ba be sie ni wa ha papa Kofi Kinata Davison band na eja womo ginemu we dey wan go bi ya wangas wayo kona ko release stress yibi hey Charlie the doctor say hey there's too much stress. Dr. Kacha was it too much stress. But more than 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. Yedi jinem ewo aye London has say. Fre numbers yi na jewodie we take it in 10. Ewo 077 2887 6027. DJ on deck and a DJ TQ. Omunyina host aye the boss aye Kweku aye Frimpong. And a Jinemopa 7th September Wood Green Bomodia 9th the Broadway High Road Wood Green a postcode near N22 6DS na Jewodie a Jinemu din obi nkase obi bi when emum se obi bi wu a na ontimi nkwa Bomodia na Fred the Golden Last Respect funeral services ebia na obi bi ewu ontimi nkofie Bomodiana womo engine mu ma no mu nsiesie we nipa kro no kira kwan kama mu nja ne kira kwan kama mfamba wo na omunti wanim eno ane se obefre wo mo +233 530 660060 ana +233 5058 57 446 ohwehwe mo kira kwan mo weja akra mo provide undertaking decoration coffin canopies, chairs, sound system, ambulance, food, pallbearers, live band adwa kete, photography, videography. Wodi sika no kra ho so full payment no a. Bomodian ne tua aye part payment. Na ombeboa mo part payment. Uria na with the part payment na so kai hu say no terms and condition applied. Boga money so some kan jo say bomodian na mani sika. John Dramani Mahama na no oba ya wo frame me am ni di nkomo se Ghana no CC free SOS. Save our souls in Tisika near be in coffee. Sika is so near coffee. Ya the Sika so coffee near man so kunkuma near kunkum. Ye bede. Anyway, boga money there. We are there for Sikano corner fakusi udain. Fakusi udain na hospital bills, school fees, and won't send be breed also. The only say we download a year boga money transfer or Google Play Store and I say App Store or Apple. Papepe. Na sendiska one more rate ni die eye brutal enjoy the brutal rates de akufuado ne ba omi ada roma ene pound ne nam 20 cedis ene e kire one man ngina osa ekofama ehon be kire ehon be haye enti eho ana eja ye be ko Ivan ho na ye de eye enkomo no a ewo so ene the newspapers Ivan e ba ye nyina wo Ghana. The publisher or say Baumia unveils Nike initiatives. The Daily Guide or say Baumia means businesses, a launch manifesto for bold solutions. The Custodian was say Baumia launches bold solution manifesto, jobs, digital economy, support for business, low taxes. The Dispatch, the Daily Dispatch, Ben Efson was say Baumia's respected Ashanti by taking Napo. But Muhammad disrespected voter. And what the baby Abesha was the NDC guru. Yeah, Uncle Ben Efson. Try bad and the The Chronicle also about me outdoors manifesto of hope. In the hope and what you free wine. Hey, a kufuado one as a way. Work harder to win a customers trust. Daily Graphic. Baumia means business unveils manifesto focusing on jobs businesses. The Ghanaian observance so was Baumia unveils manifesto of hope.